Hey guys, what is up? It's Bibs7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 video here today. In this video, I'm going to be taking the 2024 RuneScape player survey and just giving my thoughts on everything they mention. Right now I'm recording the whole screen, but I will zoom it in if it is any smaller and requires zooming to basically see anything for the video. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking this. I've taken pretty much all the surveys Jagex put out in the past, and I always like speculating on future updates and things that they mention in them and giving my thoughts on what they should focus on in the future. So I'm going to be going through it here. If you missed it, I discussed the roadmap and all the reveals and updates in a previous video. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I haven't looked at this yet. So we're just going to click here to take the survey and see where we end up. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to participate in the 2024 survey. Your thoughts and insights are essential, and by completing this in-depth survey, you will have a direct impact. Allow up to 30 minutes. I'm sure it will take me longer because I love to ramble on. And yeah, okay, sounds good. Let's go next here, and let me zoom this bad Larry in live on the screen here. And I'll leave a little bit of a border, but I'll keep it pretty zoomed in just to make it so that it is at least visible or readable for everyone ideally. And live adjustment on the fly. I'm not quite the OBS god I'd like to consider myself, but hey, that's good enough for me. Anyway, a few details about me. I am 25 to 34 years old. Exposed, guys. There we have it. I would say I'm a male. That's what I'll go with today. I play both games, honestly, pretty frequently. I always play, I've played on mobile a few times, but I think I play pretty much, I really only ever AFK tap one thing on mobile, and I don't even do that often at all. So I'm going to stick with I always play on PC. Ask me a bit more about how I play RuneScape. Which of the below best describes how recently you played RuneScape RS3? In the previous week, yes, most definitely. I have been playing recently. In the past 30 days, how many days did you play RuneScape 3? 30 days. Probably at the upper end. I've been doing my dailies quite a lot. I play for a little bit now. I've been playing pretty much every day. So I guess that makes sense that I'd be there. Maybe there was like a day or two, which I missed. Speaking of which, it's almost reset. And I think there's an uncut moonstone in the shop this Wednesday, guys. Make sure you check out the shop if you want one of those. I think it is coming through. What is my current overall skill level for RuneScape RS3 on my main account? I don't actually know exactly. Guys, I'm going to cheat really quick and look up my account on the high scores, because I don't actually know if I'm 3001 plus nowadays, since I don't have a lot. Like, I don't have all the 120s. And no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm 2989 on my main Bibs7. Honestly, 2989. Keep that number in mind. My current hardcore is 2960. So yeah, I'm pretty close on that, but gonna go with that number range. So I'm not quite max total nowadays. I'm a total noob, you guys. I can admit that. Okay, so I do have to scroll a bit for that to show up, but yeah, it goes all the way up to, there's plenty of ranges here. I'm at this one. When did you first start playing / make an account? Yeah, that'll be more than 15 years ago. And they have a question down here that is cut off because I'm too zoomed in, guys. I'm too zoomed in. But it's not really that important. I'll fix it later if I need to. It just says, what is the display name of my main RuneScape 3 character? So I will type that in. And should I leave that? Yeah, I'll just leave it as my actual main account instead of switching it. Which of the following best describes your current membership status? I have Premier membership on all my accounts. Which of the following best describes your account type on your main account? See, now that's tough, because like my quote unquote main account, right, is Bibs7, which is a main account, but the account I've been playing the most for years now is a hardcore Iron Man. So I think I'm going to pick hardcore Iron Man for that. And then, yeah, I need to zoom this out. I'm so sorry, you guys. I really am. You have no idea. I really my regrets are endless. on this front because I can't actually scroll down. So I need to make this longer in the bottom half to cover the entire survey, and then we make it smaller like that. Oh yeah, I'm an expert at OBS, and this is the quality you come to this channel for. Am I right, guys? There we have it, and we just extendo the sides, and we're good to go. Because I sure as heck ain't editing this in post. That's not my style at all. But I have played normal accounts, and I mean, I've never actually played a normal Iron Man, so I guess I'll leave that unchecked because if I haven't ever actually died and got converted to an Iron Man, and if I did, I wouldn't probably play it. So there you have it. How many RS3 characters do you actively play on? I mean, I'm going to leave it at 2. I play on my main here and there, mainly focus on my one hardcore, and then my other hardcore I haven't played on in forever. So yeah, 2, I would say. In a typical week, roughly how many hours do you spend playing RuneScape RS3? I mean, it's got to be over 40, right? I mean, as long as I am actively playing, I'm out there grinding, at least AFKing stuff almost all the time because I've got that kind of time, I guess. That's just how I do. I do use the Jagex launcher, and it's super nice. Never have to type my login info in anymore. I mean, after the roadmap reveal, I'd say I'm very satisfied. I mean, I've been having fun playing, honestly, especially since the combat changes, I think made a big difference. And I mean, I would definitely, I have recommended it to friends in the past, but I wouldn't necessarily like say you got to play this game. I would only recommend it to probably certain people who I would assume would like it based on what they like if in other games. Like, I don't think it's a game for everybody, that's for sure. So I'd give it a 7. I think that's about a 7 because I really love the game and would love other people to play it, but I'm not necessarily under the assumption that everybody would love it. How much do you disagree or agree with the following? I like the direction RuneScape is going in. I mean, after the roadmap reveal, I gotta strongly agree. I think they had a great roadmap. I enjoy reading/lurking in the RuneScape community. Yes, I am almost always up in the Reddit for the most part. And I mean, I guess my YouTube kind of counts. I feel connected. I don't know about that. Connected is a weird word to use. I don't really like, I'd agree. I guess I'd agree. Like, I guess I have the ability to connect with the community if I want. I guess that's what it maybe is how I'm treating that. I'm satisfied with the frequency of content updates. I mean, if that roadmap, I'm going to keep referencing it. If that ends up coming true, then I would definitely say yes. I'm going to stay off strongly agree, but I'd agree. I think they've been doing a good job. Maybe at the beginning of this year, it's been a bit lackluster, but I have only recently come back to playing, so I haven't really had my finger on the pulse of the update cadence. And maybe they were spending a lot of time restructuring to make this roadmap. I enjoy actively contributing to the RuneScape community. I mean, I make these YouTube videos, right? I guess that would probably be a strongly agree. And I do Reddit comments occasionally. I trust the RuneScape developers when making updates to the game. What does that mean? I guess, yeah, sure. I trust Jagex when making... Okay, I'm going to change that. The developers are great. Jagex, not as great. I was not expecting this. I'm gonna get. I don't know. I mean, Jagex as the company is just like, you just think of those higher up executives. Whoever's pushing MTX, I don't trust you. Okay, so you're gonna disagree from me because that's who I'm envisioning as Jagex. Whereas the people who actually make the content and do updates, come up with the concepts and make the things like this roadmap. I trust them with the updates. I don't trust you suits and your MTX garbage. Anyway, potential updates and changes are communicated clearly. Well, previously, not so much. But with that roadmap, I think I would kind of go, I'll just go with agree. But if the roadmaps keep up, that's going to be a strongly agree in a heartbeat. I'm satisfied with the quality of content updates. I'll go with agree for that as well. I think generally they're good. Sometimes they're horrible, but the roadmap sounds great. Anyway, they're getting a better side of me at the moment because of the roadmap today, probably. How satisfied are you with the following elements of RuneScape 3? Well, I know a lot of people, or some people that I know, don't think the quality of graphics is good, but I think RuneScape looks great personally. That's just my opinion. There's certain things and obviously outdated areas that look bad, but with all the updates they've been doing, things are looking better and better. Um, Definitely would say for new players, it's not approachable almost at all. I think with necromancy they did improve that, so maybe I'd switch it, but the tick system and so many things to keep track of and learn makes it hard to approach, but it's also a kind of a curse of any MMO. They're always going to be a bit difficult to have new players approach, but so I'll put that at somewhat dissatisfied. Availability of cooperative game modes. What does that mean? Cooperative game modes. Like Group Iron Man? I mean, what else is there? I don't understand this one too much. I'm just going to put the middle of the road there. Depth of gameplay progression. I mean, I think that RuneScape combat is very, very satisfying to get good at personally. So I'm going to go very satisfied on that. Quality of player support. I mean, I haven't really had to interact with support much in the past, but when I have, it's been reasonable, I guess. So I'll leave that. Active player community outside of the game. I think RuneScape has one of the most active communities, especially with things like the wiki. I think it's great. And yeah, I'm fairly satisfied with the variety of content they provide. Quests, bosses, skilling. I mean, since I like it all, I'm happy with variety. Active player community inside the game. Well, whenever I want to go to a group boss, I usually find it not too difficult to get a group. So I would say I'm pretty satisfied with that. Quality of content, I'm going to keep with somewhat satisfied. I think it's been pretty good in the past and is hopefully staying decent. Now, if it was archaeology only, I would have a new bar bubble off to the side that was extremely satisfied. A value for subscription. I mean, in my current life as an older person nowadays, the yearly subscription fee for Premiere is not that big a deal to me. So the value for that, I think, is easily met for me. But for others who are less well off, or maybe not as fortunate as I am, I can see that amount of money being a big commitment, and they maybe will sometimes feel like they're not having that value provided. Personally, I have no issues with the value. That is my opinion. But for others, I can totally see being very dissatisfied with it, even depending on your situation. Ability to influence game development. Well, we'll see with this survey, but currently I think they don't get enough. Well, yeah, I'm going to keep it there. I don't think they get enough feedback from the community that they act on quickly enough for it to be relevant. I think that's a good way to say it. Cross-platform availability, I don't even care about, so the amount that there is, I'm very satisfied with. The quality of storytelling, I've always liked, when I've paid attention to stories and quests, I think they've been great, so I'm going to say very satisfied. I'm somewhat satisfied with the frequency of content releases. I would say I wouldn't really expect them to be more often, but if they could be a little bit more often, that'd be pretty sweet. But as they are, they're okay enough, so I'll leave it at that. Reputation of developer, like of Jagex? I don't know. I'll probably go middle of the road for that one. If they're like, I feel like they definitely have bad branding with MTX, but like the fact that the game's been around so long and whatever is a good thing. So we'll go with that. Let me take a sip of water here. Which single quality most captures what makes RuneScape RS3 compelling for you? Please select one option. My God, there's so many options. Relaxed gameplay I can multitask with. I would not say that makes it the most compelling. Cooperation with others, no. Quests, Combat progression and mastery, I kind of like that. Recurrent gameplay, no. Social gameplay events, no. Somewhere my opinion matters, no. A fantastical yet believable world, no. Boss fights, maybe. Deep crafting system, no. Max level 99 higher, no. PvP, that's hilarious. Competition, not really. Large time investment to complete, kind of. Complex and difficult achievement system, needs more complexity and difficulty. And then maybe I would pick that. Player-to-player trading, gathering resources, comedic characters somewhere I feel safe. Combat progression and mastery, boss fights. I mean, bossing is some of the most fun I have. And everything I do almost leads up to doing bosses. So I think I'm going to go with boss fights there. But a lot of these things are all contributing factors to the game being so fun for me. So it's not like that's the only thing I care about, but it is the single quality that most captures it, I guess, based on what they were asking. But then is the next one going to be the same question but with checkboxes? They beat me there. I didn't get that right. Please take a moment to view this recently released graphic showing the upcoming releases for RuneScape. Oh, I have reviewed it. Don't you worry. I am very satisfied with the content here. I am super excited for all this. And let's see. I'm very interested in the boss. How do I do super extremo interested for this? Beach is Relica environment update, I think looks good. Maybe they didn't release that and they just have screenshots that I saw. I don't remember. But that looks good. Special event Pride, I don't even know what this entails. So, yeah. Have they had events for this in the past? I don't know. So, like, whatever. This, very interested. Tasks and I'm excited for, but not that excited for. This is very interesting to me. I really am excited to see more about that. Interest in playing or engaging with it. I mean, I'm definitely going to be playing and engaging with the fourth Conjure. This one, yeah. I mean, all of these are just going to be yes, yes. I'm going to put a little bit less on the event because I don't care as much. Yes, yes, and then I mean, I think it's a great roadmap. Honestly, yeah, no, I think the beach for me is less interesting than the other seasonal events, personally. And then this one I don't know anything about, so it's hard for me to be interested in it. But yeah, fantastic roadmap, as I've already gone into. Please describe why the planned group Iron Man update appeals to you. I've been wanting this ever since it was first discussed. I've played it on old school and had a great time. And can't wait to make a new group on RS3 with my friends. I mean, why else would it be appealing to me? I want to play a group Iron Man. That's why it's appealing. I think this is actually something I think RS3 progression and general, like, what is it? And I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Supply management and RS3 bossing / combat / gear progression and things like supply management are much more enjoyable for Iron Man than on old school. This is my personal opinion. I really love playing cooperatively with friends, and this mode is the best way to do that. Can't wait. There you go. You got a whole paragraph out of me. But yeah, I do think, like, I've been playing Group Iron Man on old school with my friend for a bit, and we're at the point where it's like, I don't know, like upkeeping things like prayer pots and stuff like that just sucks. That's all I have to say about it. It sucks. Like on RS3, given I've trained up and it's just less of a, I have to go grind master farmer pickpocket spamming for 5 hours to get 3 Renar seeds, and then I'll get like 20 prayer pots out of that, and I'll be able to go do a couple barrels runs. Like, whatever. It just is. I mean, I still am a fan of grinding on RuneScape, but old school is a bit less fun in what you need to do for supplies and things like that. Anyway, I'm not going to go off on a rant about that too much, but that is my opinion. Of the updates you responded to, which of these would you prioritize as the updates you are most excited to play in RuneScape? Please rank these options in descending order, where 1 is most excited to play. Okay. Well, they're really putting me on the spot here with this now, aren't they? I don't know. Okay, we'll put the seasonal events are going to be towards the bottom. So where's the Halloween event? Yeah, that'll go down. Combat, Rex Matriarch, not that exciting. Skilling boss near the top. Archaeology near the top. This is This near the top. This like middle top. Similar area with these ones and this one. This one probably like bottom middle. Group Ironman near the top. Skilling update, same area as mining and smithing. Story quest, I don't know. So yeah, okay, so now let's narrow it down here. What is my number 1? I don't know. Like all 4 of these I would put at number 1 because they're all so exciting. I think maybe not the boss dungeon, honestly. I don't know though. I mean, most excited, like low key is archaeology. It's so good. Oh, but that skilling boss I'm so excited for too. Like, come on. How are they going to force me into a corner like this? I don't know. I mean, maybe I should just put Group Ironman at the top because I've been waiting for so long for that. And once we get more info about it, I feel like I'll be more hyped. Maybe like that. I don't know, dude. This top 4 is impossible to narrow down. Like, I would put all these at number 1 if I could. Let me have a sip of water while I think. I am really excited for the new boss dungeon, especially because it doesn't have the trash mobs. Just 3 new bosses. Even if they're not that complicated, like there's like 2 bosses that are like meh complicated and then a really big tough boss. Still excited for that. But archaeology I love so much. I don't know. I don't know how to change it. Maybe like that. I don't know. I'm going to leave it like that, guys. It's too hard for me to narrow those 4 down. Now down here, put the story quest up. I'm definitely more excited for mining and smithing because we actually know what's coming with that. I might put this down below, honestly. I love quests, so I'll leave quests there. These are, let me move this up. Yeah, I'll put that there. It's a mid-level boss, so not that exciting. Or, well, I'll put it above the woodcutting and fletching because we don't know anything about that. And then these, like, ones down here I'm excited for, but they're, like, small updates, kind of. So I'll put this up above that, maybe. And then, yeah, I like that order. And then I'm more excited for the Halloween event because it's new. And then the Relic update, I mean, it's graphical, so it's not content, so it's not, it's not something I'm going to be super excited for, but it's still nice. All right, that's my list. The top 4 could have me swapping them around for hours, so I'm just going to move on. But yeah, roadmap looks great. When playing RuneScape 3, please rate your current interest in playing and engaging with the following activities. Participating in clan events and activities. I mean, I don't do that, so very uninteresting. Player-owned farming. I love player-owned farming. I'm a big fan of it. I do it every day. Questing and lore. Love questing. Combat casual bosses like God Wars Dungeon and stuff. I'm a fan of. Clue scrolls. Fan of those too. Improving the look of my character. I don't really care about that. Player-owned house is useless, so why would I care about it? Make it better and I'll be interested. Raiding / elite dungeons. I like doing elite dungeons, kind of. Raids suck. The only raid that's in the game absolutely sucks, which I hate. So I'll put that down as somewhat interested. I wish I could put something below very uninterested for PvP. Skilling, I like skilling. I like Slayer. I like AFKing. I don't really socialize with friends in game at all. I end up talking to them on Discord if we're playing together. Ports, I do every day, but it's kind of meh. Completing daily challenges I haven't been doing recently. Ever since I lost the streak I had of like 50 weeks when it first came out, I was crestfallen and have no longer been doing them. So I'll put Seasonal events, I'm somewhat interested in those. This one, love difficult bosses. Building wealth in-game on a main account, I'm not really interested in that too much. Building wealth, oh sorry, I have to scroll down. Building wealth in-game on an Iron Man may be a little bit more interesting, but since they say selling, merching, flipping, that implies main account, which I'm not that interested in. So yeah, fairly quick little run through there. I think that summarizes me pretty decently. How would the following proposed updates affect your feelings about playing RuneScape 3? Okay. Assigned training tasks that you can do in-game with a friend. I mean, whatever, really. What does that mean? That's kind of a weird thing. I don't think that would really affect me. Training tasks, like leveling up skills and stuff. I mean, I don't currently have accounts where that would make any impact to me. I would go ahead and say it wouldn't really affect. Updating the tutorial and early game training experience for new players. I mean, that'd get me a little bit more excited about playing myself because maybe we'd be bringing in new players and keeping growing the game. Wouldn't directly affect me, but there you go. I would be so much less excited about playing if they tried to revive PvP because I hate PvP, and yeah, don't bother with it. So I'm gonna leave it like that. A sequel quest continuing Elemental Workshop. Give me Elemental Workshop, and I'll play the game every day for the rest of my life. Elemental Workshop 5, 6, 7, everything. But either I love new quests, so I'd be a lot more excited about playing when a new quest was coming. This is PvP. What are you doing? This is PvP. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go away. Why are you trying to do PvP twice? Improvements to menus, interfaces, and the screen layout. Always good, I think. I would be a little bit more excited about playing with that. Updating the power of existing weapons and armor. Updating. So does that mean nerfing or buffing or both? I'll probably put it wouldn't affect, I think. I'd rather have new stuff. New Elite Dungeon. A lot more excited. Elite Dungeons I do like. So increasing skill caps, I think, is a good thing always, as long as there's content. A new quest, yes. Please, new ways to train an existing skill. Always cool to see new skill training methods. A new skill, obviously, I would be very excited for. Reviewing the game mechanics for existing PvP. Get out of here. You can call me a hater. I am a hater. I'm a hater on PvP. If I don't think it has a place in this game really anymore, aside from what already exists, which is like being able to duel people for fun. New facilities for players to create their own plugins for adapting the official game client. That would be really cool. I would like to make some of those myself, maybe. Although I could try with Alt-1. But if they made more things available, I think that would be great. That would be very cool. New areas, I would love. Always love new areas. Updating the mechanics and rewards of existing monsters. Okay, I'd put a little bit more exciting because there are things that need touching up, but I'd still like new stuff more often. More combat challenges for mid-level players. I mean, those would still be things that I could do, so I'd be a bit more excited about playing those, but wouldn't be a huge impact. An update to the gameplay or rewards of an existing mini game. I feel like mini games are almost too far gone at this point, so I'm going to put it wouldn't affect, but if they made mini games that were actually relevant or made them good again, then maybe I would be interested, but yeah, I think I'll keep it as wouldn't affect right now. New combat activity, of course, yes. Community events generally don't really affect how I feel about playing the game. I'll probably do them if they're around, but otherwise, whatever. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm so excited for this holiday event, I guess. More combat challenges for elite players, yes. A new combat raid. I mean, I see raid, I think Liberation of Mazcab, and I think terrible, get rid of it. So with that as my assumption, I'm going to put less excited because I hate raids. It's the worst PVM content in the game, easily. No debate. Don't even try. 10 people, way too many. Loot lockout, terrible. All right, I won't rant. A new mini game. I mean, I think mini games again aren't really that relevant. I'll put it wouldn't affect how I feel because like if you could also play it by yourself, I think that would be fine. And it would maybe be cool to have new mini games that you could play by yourself, but if other people were there, maybe it was different or better. I don't know, but that's not specified, so I'm not going to make assumptions in that regard. New Slayer monsters, heck yes. A month-long competitive event. I'm not super competitive in my approach to the game, so I wouldn't really be excited about that. Updating graphics, I think, is always good and can kind of give you a refreshing feel of the game, so I'd put a bit more. New costume and character customizations wouldn't really affect me. Reviewing the balance and rewards of existing skill activities, I would be a bit more excited of new changes to skills. New modes for playing the game in different ways, e.g. Iron Man Battle Royale skilling competitions. Okay, I'll put a little bit more excited. I mean, get the heck out of here with Battle Royale. But like Iron Man, obviously I like. So maybe if they were bringing like, I know people liked Darkscape. I didn't play it, but it would maybe be interesting. Skilling competitions kind of doesn't sound that interesting either. But hey, I'll put maybe I'd be excited depending on what it is. New boss, yes. And then holiday events. What did I put for community events? I think I put in the middle one, right? Where is it? Am I blind or stupid? Or maybe both. Community events, yeah, I put it wouldn't affect. But I feel like the holiday events are a bit more substantial and have better rewards. So I'd put a bit more excited about playing for those. All right. There we have that. Oh my God. What? Okay. Of the updates you responded to, which of these would you prioritize as the most important update that would make you most excited to play RuneScape? Please rank these options in descending order where one is most excited to play. Okay, I think probably number one would be a new boss, most likely. Or no, a new skill would be over a new boss for sure. But those are way bigger updates. Oh, maybe you couldn't read that. That was the prompt that I just read out loud. Let me scroll down to show the whole. Okay, there's 20 items on the list, and you barely can't see them all at once. So sorry, but that's just how it is. Launch of a new skill is easily number one. New boss, I think, would probably be number two. Elite dungeon. I think I'd rather have a quest than an elite dungeon, maybe. Yeah, new. Increasing skill caps goes. I think it does go all the way up there. Personally, I really like the skills going higher, and as long as there's content that fills in the new gap. So I think honestly, I would put that up there. New Slayer monsters can go up to there for now. New area, I think would go here, maybe. New combat activity. What does that mean? Because you have elite dungeon. Excuse me. You have elite dungeon. You have boss. You have Slayer monsters. What's a new combat activity if not one of those three things? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. So I'll put it around here with Slayer monsters. I guess I'll put it in between these two because I kind of don't know what it is, but it's combat. New ways to train an existing skill. I will put right here maybe, but like maybe I'll put that up here actually. I think new training methods are always cool. Let's see, reviewing. Yeah, that can go up here a bit. Oh, this needs to go above everything up there. Yeah. I am definitely more interested in elite PVM than I am mid-level PVM, which I will put here. Where are we? Updating the tutorial should go down a bit. Graphics, probably there. Mechanics and rewards of existing bosses can go up a bit, like there maybe. A sequel quest I'll put up with, I probably would rather have that than a new quest overall. Holiday events. Yeah. New modes. I don't know where to put this because Iron Man and Battle Royale are so vastly different, and so are skilling competitions. But I'll put this up to like here, maybe. Or no, here. Okay. Improvements graphics. Tutorial honestly is probably at the bottom still. Even though I think it would be good to do and stuff, it wouldn't really make me that excited. Put that above holiday events. And yeah, I think I'm good with this list. So number 1, launch of a new skill. 2, increasing skill caps of current skills. 3, more combat challenges for elite PVM players. A new boss, a sequel quest, a new quest, new ways to train an existing skill, a new new area to explore, a new elite dungeon, a new combat activity, new Slayer monster / activities, more combat challenges for mid-level PVM players, updating mechanics of existing rewards of existing monsters and bosses, reviewing balance and rewards of existing skill activities, new modes, improvements to menus, update the graphics, new facilities for creating your own plugins, and holiday events, and then updating the tutorial. That's my list of 20. Next up, we have please rate your overall satisfaction with the following seasonal and special events. Whew, is that bar actually relative? Because man, how long have I been going? I don't know. But it seems like it's been a while already. I am yapping. Golden Cape Hunt. I think I would say somewhat satisfied with that. I think the hunt events were pretty good overall in general. I did not play Fresh Start Worlds. Halloween event Pumpkin Pete. I don't remember that. So hard to say. I think if this was this when you got the pumpkin stuff like last Halloween, like when it was for necromancy, and you had to go click the pumpkins in the thing. I think that was probably what it was, wasn't it? Let me look it up. Hopefully it doesn't crash my entire computer. Pumpkin Pete. 2023 Halloween event. Yes. So yeah, I remember that. It was kind of I didn't really like that event too much. I'll probably put somewhat dissatisfied, honestly, with that. The beach is fine. Not that interesting. I did not do this. Vorkath Hunt was same as Golden Cape Hunt pretty much for me. Christmas Village I thought was fine. This one I didn't play. Frank's Free Chest was whatever. It was okay. I don't know what that is. I wasn't around for April Fools either. Raptors Rampage I don't think I played either. I don't get double XP because I do Iron Man. Parcels from the Dead. I'd probably put meh for all those. This one I didn't play, and I don't think I played that one either. So, yeah, a lot of these I have as did not play, but they are kind of recency related, a lot of them, and some of them are, I think, excluded for Iron Man. But thinking about seasonal and special events, how important are the following features? New quests. I think they're pretty important to have a new quest, like a reason to go do something at the area. Progression can be made just by playing the game. I don't think it's that important. I mean, they don't have to have these stupid wrapping paper things for every event, I don't think. So that doesn't really matter too much to me. Honestly, not that important. Content is permanently accessible after the event. I don't think that's super important either, especially with this new approach they're doing of bringing it back every year. That is a key point. Gameplay buffs also not important to a seasonal or special event, at least to me. Daily, weekly activities that are quick to complete, e.g. Golden Egg Hunt, posting daily letters to Santa. Those are a bit better, but not important than otherwise. Sense of community is honestly somewhat important. Seeing people around the hub and all doing stuff together is kind of nice. Returning rewards quality of life, turning objects into overrides. Yeah, I mean, I think that's always good for them to do. More overrides for people that like that sort of stuff. Return of rewards from prior years, in my opinion, is very important for seasonal events. That's just my opinion. As are regular cosmetic rewards. That's like kind of always been the whole point of the events is to have those cosmetic rewards. Celebrations for smaller holidays outside of Christmas, Easter, Halloween. Are those the only 3 big holidays that we're considering? If so, I think that's fine. I don't think smaller holidays really need to have events. Honestly, who cares? Very unimportant. Unique dedicated area that can only be visited during the event. I mean, with what they've done so far, I think has been great for those. So I would put somewhat important. I think they should continue with them in the future. Combat activities, I mean, it's not really a part of these events most of the time. I wouldn't consider that important. Have optional ways to help my progression through purchasable bundles or offers. There's never been anything less important. Being able to earn rare items, I think, is pretty cool. Somewhat important. Recolorable rewards, whatever. Various skilling activities. That's kind of been the norm nowadays. All right. Not that excited or interested in seasonal events, so don't want to put a ton of stuff into this. Oh boy, I'm excited for this. This is my favorite section of all of these surveys, where they give us all these crazy pie in the sky updates that are never going to happen, get us excited about them. And yeah, but I still love reading about them. Now thinking about possible new and or improved content, please rate the appeal of the following. Player-owned housing update. Very appealing. The player-owned house in old school is super important and strong, and I think that would be a great thing to have in RS3 as well. Gives you a reason to train construction up, although Fort Flint 3 kind of did a good job of that. But still, it would be nice to have a reason to go to your house for various things. Boss challenge modes. Test your skills with new challenge modes added to existing boss encounters. That sounds freaking awesome. Very appealing. New area in Gielinor. Gielinor is not 100% explored, and there are mysteries, wonders, and adventures yet to be had and lands yet discovered. What exciting tales does Gielinor have to tell? All right. I could probably put very appealing for almost everything on here. Honestly, I will, and I'll come back later. More player customization. Okay, so this I won't put very appealing. It's your adventure, so we'd like to make sure that your character is as customizable as possible with new features to make it as close to what you want. Somewhat appealing. Kind of like, eh. Actually, neither appealing or unappealing. I don't really care that much. Offline gameplay. More content like ports and player-owned fun. I thought they were going to say where you don't have to log into the server, and I was going to put very appealing, but unfortunately that obviously wouldn't happen, but I thought for a second. More content like ports and player-owned farm where you send minions to do work for you. Sit back and relax, collect the reward later, or join in yourself to get it done faster. Okay, well, this last part is not a thing right now. In any of this type of content, you can't join in on your ports and make it go faster or farm, right? So that would be an interesting aspect to add to future content like this to avoid the time gate. I'll put somewhat appealing for those. I think those are good. RuneScape Leagues. Experience Gielinor in a whole new way by unlocking powerful benefits and earn points by completing extraordinary feats to dominate the high scores. So I've played old school leagues a little bit, not very much, but I think it could be fun to have them on RS3. I would definitely try them out at least. Remaster iconic content. Look back into RuneScape's past and remaster iconic content which you know and love. Bring it up to date in the game with the same look and feel you love. Like what? Like what exactly are they referring to there? I don't know. I don't think that's super important. I would say neither appealing nor unappealing for that. Prestiging. Reset your skills, earn permanent new benefits and cosmetics for doing so, and then continue leveling to do it all again. They've talked about this in the past. I think it's a fantastic idea. Like, it's probably no life sweaty to say, and I don't even have very many 200 mil skills, but like, there being a cap is kind of lame, in my opinion. Like, any game where you're able to prestige or continue leveling, I think is only a good thing in most cases. And that's again, maybe an unpopular opinion, maybe not, but it is my opinion about this sort of thing. I think a prestige approach in some way to allow you to keep training skills, but like, would you lose all your unlocks and training methods? I don't know how it would exactly work, but them looking further into something like this, for me, is very appealing. That's all I'm going to say about it. Of the possible new content you responded to, which of these would you prioritize as the most appealing update that would make you most excited to play RuneScape? Please order where one is most appealing. Okay. I think this one sounds really cool. That one, not as much. Player-owned house, new area. I think, honestly, low-key, two. It's definitely two. Boss challenge mode would be more interesting than that. POH would be, yeah, I think I'm good with this order, actually. Or, no, yeah, I do like this order. Boss challenge mode sounds really cool. Prestiging, I like a lot, personally, as an idea. POH, I think, is in desperate need of a rework. New areas are always cool. RuneScape leagues sound pretty interesting. And then more offline gameplays, like whatever. Like these two are pretty interchangeable, but I'll put leagues as the higher one. What other new or improved content would you like to see in RuneScape 3? Here you go, dog. I'll give you Elemental Workshop, Quest, continued Elemental Workshop, Quest line. Additionally, I'm just gonna put that. Maybe a new tier of clue scroll would always be cool. What about those gold/silver clues that were talked about years ago? Those I thought were interesting. What other new or improved content would you like to see? I mean, I would normally put Group Iron Man in here, but that's on the roadmap. What else would be interesting in here? I know it's an MMO, but making all content potentially viably soloable would be, in my opinion, a great change. That's something I would really like to see personally, especially for something like Croesus. I don't know so much about older stuff that's built around the group size like raids. But you never know what they could change. Solok was originally 7-man only, if you remember. So yeah, I think that's all I'll put for this. I mean, I'm really bad at coming up with ideas of my own off the spot. So as you might remember from a recent survey I took where they asked like, what are bugs or stuff that annoys you? And I couldn't think of anything. So yeah, I'll go with that. Moving on, now thinking about possible new and or improved support systems, please rate the appeal of the following. Loyalty store update. Improve the loyalty point store and system to a modern standard. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible right now. It's like on some jank alternate web page. I don't even know. I can't believe it still even works, honestly. They really need to update the loyalty store. It sucks right now. Game client mods / plugins, similar to how old school RuneScape have the ability to install plugins to improve your game experience. I really like that potential idea. Because right now with Alt1, it's very imprecise. Like Alt1 basically just, as far as I understand, I haven't actually developed for it, but I think it just reads stuff on your screen. Like it reads your buff bar or your chat box or things like that to tell you things. Or like has an internal timer. Whereas old school, a lot of the plugins like get their fingers down into the game and actually are able to like, do things on their own without having to see it on your screen or stuff like that. I think that would be really cool to have available in RS3. Returning player training system. That sounds a bit weird. I don't know how that would work. I'm not sure I like that too much. Interface revamp. I mean, I don't know. I think the UI is good personally. Ever since the ability, the new interface system or whatever they called it, where you can basically completely customize it, I don't really see the need to improve it at this point, since you can make it as complex or as simple as you want. Personally, not that interesting. Grouping system update. A group system update to make it easier to create teams for events and game modes. I mean, I think it's desperately needed for the game, but it's not something I care about that much particularly, so I'll just put somewhat appealing. Clan update. A clan update with great reasons to be in a clan, work with your clan, and fun new and old activities with your clanmates. meh. I mean, I don't really care about clans that much. Personally, that's just me. Referral and mentoring program. Invite and help your friends, and all will be rewarded, from extended membership packages to in-game rewards. That's kind of an interesting idea. They already have the refer a friend program, which is not that useful, I don't think, but I think that's a good idea, potentially, getting more people into the game. More new player paths. Help newbies learn faster with more training paths beyond Birth Orb. Also, probably a good thing for the game. New quest rewards. New system where you can earn additional rewards for completing quests. I mean, isn't that what they did with the whole May's Caravan, or whatever her name is? I don't understand what they would add additionally for that, but hey, I think that'd be cool. So I'll put very appealing. Sorry, I forgot to scroll down again, but that's what that one was. All right, next up. Again, we want to rank them from 1 to 5. Okay, so I think the plugins is number 1, no doubt. Loyalty store update is sorely needed. So is a grouping system update, although I like this more than both of those, I think. And yeah, I think this is my list for sure. Plugins and stuff would be really cool. I really hope they go forward with that. Yeah, I have no idea what else. Auras. Is that it? Does that count? Remove auras from loyalty store, and maybe make them have no cooldown where possible. Like for combat auras. If this even counts as a support system, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't really know what support systems entail exactly anyway. Regarding double XP events, how satisfied are you with the following elements of double XP? I mean, I play Iron Man, so I'm about to just pop, 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 and move on. Where's the Iron Man button? Okay, yeah, I was just reading them to see if they actually cared about any of them, but I didn't. How often do you play RuneScape while doing something else at the same time, watching TV, working, playing other games? I would say sometimes, because a lot of the time I'm doing PVM and I'm focused on the game only. But, sometimes, and when I'm instead skilling or doing something else, I'll be watching YouTube or something. So sometimes. How often would you want to be playing RuneScape while doing other things at the same time? I'm pretty happy with the amount of time that I'm able to and do engage with other things while playing RuneScape. So I'll stick with sometimes. So I currently do sometimes, and I'm happy about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is low and 10 is high, how much enjoyment and value do you get out of playing RuneScape while doing something else at the same time? I mean, I think when I'm doing it, I feel like I'm a multitasking legend, and I am making progress while also doing something else fun. So I think it's a great thing to be able to do. I'd say 10 out of 10 for when I am doing it. But I don't necessarily think that there needs to be more of it, because you can already AFK so much in the game. Honestly, I'm going to knock it down 2 points just because I've talked myself out of it a little bit. But it's still a good thing that I enjoy doing. Now, thinking about updates to existing skills, please rate the appeal of the following. An activity is rebalanced to let you train slowly, requiring no further interaction with the game once you've started the activity full AFK. Yeah, I mean, somewhat appealing, I guess. Like, why would you rebalance an activity? I don't want you to rebalance stuff to change it to full AFK necessarily. So I don't know about that. An activity is rebalanced to make training give XP faster. I mean, I guess somewhat appealing. It's never bad necessarily. An activity is rebalanced to let you train slowly, requiring you to interact with the game. Yeah, like I think light AFK is the best personally. Only every couple of minutes is honestly probably the ideal. Full AFK, I think is kind of like it's a little bit weird, and I know some people love it, but personally, I'm not a big fan. More variety and surprises when training, like ritual disturbances, Saren spirits, things like that. I kind of like. So yeah, a new training method gives you something more interesting to do compared to existing methods. I mean, wouldn't that always be good? Increasing the level cap, yes. An activity is rebalanced to make training more lucrative. Golden materials also seems good. An activity is rebalanced to let you train intensely, rewarding engagement with more XP. I also think that's generally pretty good, personally. If you want to do it, but it shouldn't be like the only way to do or get something. Whoa. Okay. Just taking a sip there. Please select your top 5 favorite skills. Archaeology, top 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Easily. Up to 5, I could low-key just continue. But I'll pick some others. Let's see. What are my other favorite skills? Farming, honestly, I really like player on farm. Fishing has always been my favorite gathering skill. Although if archaeology counts as a gathering skill, it wins for sure. What else? Those 3. I mean, I like doing Slayer. Slayer's a fun skill. And honestly, mining, since the rework, is really good. I like training mining. Invention's also cool. Just favorite skills, not for any necessary reason. Between invention and mining for my last one. I'm gonna go with mining. Please describe why these are your most favorite skills. Archaeology is easily the best update in the history, or the best skill in the game, in my opinion. It is by far the deepest and most fleshed out, with so much interesting and fun content. And yeah, I mean, it's mysteries are amazing. It's fun to train. Has great unlocks. Nothing beats it. What else did I put? Farming. Player-owned farm. The player-owned farms made farming fun for me. Much more fun. Raising the animals. And working on the collection, breeding logs. Added a lot of additional reason to train outside of just XP, including getting additional important materials from your animals. Because like most trees and stuff just gave you these fruits that were almost useless, aside from like papayas. Although the new trees give you primal extract, but still, for me, player-owned farms are the main reason I like farming. Fishing has just always been my favorite, generic gathering skill. It was my first 99 years ago, and so has always sort of had a special place in my heart. The mining and smithing rework improved mining so much that it became one of my favorite skills to train. I enjoy the light AFK training methods the most, and having the rocker, I don't know how you spell that, opportunities available when I come back to click on the screen is a fun incentive. And yeah, I mean, it's just, and I also think the progression of the skill going through the tiers is nice to go through, and is smooth to experience. Unlocking the new ore boxes and pickaxes and things like that. Signs, things like that. And then Slayer has always been fun to train. Mostly, or like, yeah, just to spice up combat training and give additional rewards like the unique Slayer creature drops from the higher level monsters. Yeah, I especially enjoy in recent years the more complex and challenging Slayer monsters that have equally rewarding loot. There you go. You just got a whole long explanation of why I like these 5 skills. Have a read if you missed anything I said, but I think that is a pretty good summary for me why I like those skills. Interesting that they put this. Is anybody actually going to read this whole paragraph these whole massive text blocks that I wrote? Hard to know, but maybe. Please select your 5 least favorite skills. Agility, construction, hunter. Honestly, I could have picked hunter for my top 5 favorites after Big Game Hunter, but without Big Game Hunter, terrible, horrible. Dungeoneering, definitely on there. Fletching, I low-key hate. I might put fletching on there. Rune crafting used to be one of my favorites, but has since fallen out of favor for me by quite a lot. Wood cutting, honestly, was also one I used to not like, but I've kind of come to enjoy it a bit more recently. I'm going to put fletching. So yeah, why are these my least favorite skills? The summary for most of these, aside from dungeoneering, there essentially feels like there's no reason to train them. Agility is extremely boring and next to useless, with very few helpful shortcuts nowadays, and run energy being a non-factor. Needs a complete rework, pretty much. Construction is super annoying to train, although the contracts are much better. Also suffers slightly from no incentive, but the fort did help a bit with that. Basically just needs the POH, the fabled POH rework, and will probably be fine. What else? Dungeoneering. Dungeoneering is a mini game. I don't care what anyone says. I just don't enjoy training it, basically. Having to go to a separate dungeon area to do the normal training is just not that fun to me. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't like dungeoneering, pretty much. And then fletching. Fletching similarly has little to no incentive, and I find it to be the most boring bank standing skill. You don't produce anything interesting like with Herblore, and don't get any worthwhile unlocks really, like making Hydrix jewelry with crafting. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It also doesn't have a ton of alternative methods aside from the semi-recent stuff on Anachronia, which I think it could do with a bit more of. Runecrafting used to be one of my favorites, but nowadays it's not super great. I think the fact that you still have to expose yourself to PvP, right? To runecraft with the skull, I think. You have to expose yourself to PvP, if that's still a thing. To use the skull to runecraft is stupid. And runespan is super boring and a pain to optimize by chasing nodes. There is little incentive, again, to train it. Runecrafting could use some love, I think. There you have it. My thoughts on skills that I don't like. Dungeoneering and agility and construction are probably a bit higher in terms of dislike compared to fletching and runecrafting, but still, they all have their place. Moving on. Thinking specifically about RuneScape 3 skills, please select 5 skills you would like to see improved most. See, now this I would not include like dungeoneering for. I would definitely include agility and construction. I think fletching could use an improvement as well, and so too could runecrafting. But I would not put dungeoneering on here because what are they going to do? I don't know. What else should get improved? Summoning, I think, could be improved quite a bit. I think I'll go with that. That kind of jumped out at me. Fire making too could use. Yeah, maybe. No, I think runecrafting really could use it. Summoning and fire making are pretty close to me, but I'm going to stick with summoning since I feel like it hasn't been touched in forever and maybe should be. Oh, God. I have to give another paragraph. Okay. Yeah. For agility, construction, fletching, and runecrafting, it's pretty much the same reasons I put for them being in my top 5 least favorite. For summoning, I think it hasn't been touched in a while and could do with better / new training methods, more interesting and diverse familiars maybe, and just an overall touch up in general. Maybe an increase to 120 would be pretty awesome. Yeah, that one I didn't have too much to say about, I don't think. Summoning, I just feel like would be really cool to see expanded a bit. Of the skills you'd like to see improved, please rank which is the most you'd like to see improved the most. Okay, I think construction is number 1, agility number 2. I'd really like to see updates to summoning. Yeah, I think that's a good order, although these two at the bottom are kind of interchangeable. Actually, I think I'll put runecrafting number 4. Okay. Thinking specifically about RuneScape 3 skills, please select 5 skills you would like to see the skill levels increased. Okay, construction with a POH rework would be amazing. Summoning, I would like to see increased to 120. What else? What else? I'm not sure. I mean, they have all the combat skills on here, which I think is kind of weird because, like, surely they would do them all, right? I think prayer, honestly, could use a 120 more so or more quickly than other combat styles, just because they already have tier 99 prayers, and I think a new prayer book could be really cool with like more utility style prayers. I don't know, maybe. What else should have levels increased? Thieving, honestly. I think more and more interesting thieving targets would be cool. I think that actually would be very nice. And what lastly shallst I put? Divination, maybe? More wisps that give better energy. Although divination's kind of boring. honestly. Although maybe they could make cool stuff to make with the energy. And then there's always agility, but do I really want to say that I'm interested in 120 agility? I mean, if it had like an actual good rework, maybe, but otherwise, no. Might just put fishing because I really like fishing and having higher level fish. Not necessarily that heal you more, but maybe like ones that have additional like utility effects, I think could be really cool. So I'll go with that. And I need to type again. Construction would be an amazing 120 to have as long as it comes with a POH rework and the additional content. Adds some new things to give reason to get those higher levels and add things to the POH. Fishing, I think, could be very cool to have to 120, not necessarily for higher healing fish, but to maybe add fish with additional effects that can be slight bonuses or things like that. I love fishing. I'm not going to put that. But yeah, I mean, I just think it would be very interesting. Prayer could do with an increase and maybe a new prayer book with some cool utility prayers, or even a full skilling prayer book, as well as potentially new ones for combat, maybe. Since we're already at tier 99 prayers, I feel it could definitely go for an increase. Summoning is sort of in a similar boat to prayer, where the best familiars are already in the high 90s, and we could use an increase to allow for new, better familiars. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. It would also be nice to include a new training methods with a level cap increase. Thieving also has content pretty much up to 99 with Prif Elves, and it would be cool to see new NPCs either added or enabled for thieving with potentially lucrative drop tables to incentivize getting the higher levels. There you have it. My thoughts on which skills should go to 120. Bang, we're moving on. And this is the ranking of which ones I would like to see most. Now, this is tough. I think fishing will go at the bottom, even though I love fishing and I think it'd be cool. Is this honestly the order? I think summoning may be over prayer. Construction, I think, yeah, I think I would like to see that the most, honestly, just because the POH would be so cool to have reworked. Yeah. What new skill would you like to see in RuneScape 3? I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, do I have any clue to even put something down here? Not really. I always thought the idea of Slayer for skilling was kind of interesting. I did always think this, but not sure how well it would work in practice. I'm not great at coming up with ideas or new stuff. Oh, yeah, I don't know. You basically get Slayer task type assignments, but for skilling related things. I don't know. It's a pretty dumb idea, and at the end of the day, like it probably wouldn't work well in the game. But I don't really have other ideas. Um, yeah, I can't really think of the other like because we had archaeology and necromancy were like rumored skills for a while. There's obviously sailing, which old school's doing. So I don't really know of any other ones that are exactly that I can think of that are exactly relevant. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. When you play RuneScape RS3, how often do you engage in PVM content? Frequently. I wouldn't say almost exclusively, but definitely frequently. Which of the following bosses have you defeated? I have defeated every single boss in the game at least one time, so I'm gonna check them all off. Bang, 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 bang. Oops. No! I hate myself. Okay, all of them. Every single one. At least once. Actually, yeah. Vorkath, I think I've only actually killed personally once. Of the bosses you have defeated, which of these would you rate as the most enjoyable boss encounters with regards to boss mechanics, not including loot or cash flow? I think for me, the best boss they have ever made was Telos. Easily so good. Virago, also fantastic boss with great mechanics. This is going at the very bottom for the rest of its life. Zamorak, I think, is a very good boss. I like it a lot. Oh, yeah, let me bring boss mechanics specifically. Yak has really cool mechanics. Beastmaster doesn't. I don't like Beastmaster. Solok has great mechanics. I really like Solok. AOD is pretty good. It's kind of eh. Rax also. Siryu, I think, sucks. I really do. The mechanics of Siryu are not good. Zuck is good. I like Zuck. Probably fifth, maybe. Blackstone Dragon has one of the worst mechanics in the entire game where he flies around for 5 minutes doing nothing. So he's going down just for that. Croesus, I really like, although it's surprised to see that it's here. Yeah, I'd honestly put Croesus there. Archglacior also has great mechanics. Honestly, no, maybe not that high. Yeah, maybe there. Well, yeah, that's better. Carapac mechanics are kind of boring. Raksha has pretty good mechanics, but not great. Raksha and Rax are on the similar level for me. Ambassadors, probably fine there. Raziel goes above Beastmaster and above Carapac and above right there. I think this is pretty good. Telos, the best by far. Virago is great. Zamorak's great. Glacior's great. Croesus is great. Solok's great. Zuck is great. And AOD is all right. Rax is all right. Raksha is all right. Raziel's all right. Oh, whoops. Or no, Yaka. I think I'll leave Yaka there. Yaka's pretty good. Ambassador's okay. Carabag's okay. Beastmaster kind of bad. Blackstone Dragon sucks. Siryu terrible. Zim Regal Vorkath horrible, awful garbage. We would like to understand how you feel about PvM combat in RuneScape 3. How strongly do you disagree or agree with the following statements? Existing equipment should be rebalanced to promote a more diverse equipment landscape, even if it affects current item prices and player power. What does that mean exactly? Equipment landscape. I don't know. I don't really think so that much. I think where we're at right now is fairly good, but maybe we can expand on it in the future. But it's hard to do that without having a good foundation. I'm going to stay middle of the road on that one. I should be guaranteed to receive rare loot rewards after a certain number of kills. I couldn't agree with anything less than this. Bad luck mitigation I've never been a fan of, and that's just my opinion. I understand the argument behind it, but for me, it kind of takes away from almost the core of the PVM and what I like about it almost. Like, it's the reason why I don't like getting pets almost in the game. Like, I hate pet thresholds because if I get a pet early, it's not like, oh my God, I can't believe I got this pet. Let's go. I'm so lucky. It's, oh, I got a drop that is basically inevitable after a certain amount of kills. So, like, whatever. That's just my opinion, though. Personal talent should be needed in addition to suitable combat stats and equipment to win some fights. I do strongly agree with that. You should have to be at least competent. I mean, you shouldn't be able to brute force fights with just combat stats and equipment. Yeah, definitely not. Loot should be rebalanced to avoid giving items that are otherwise obtained from skills. Yeah, kind of. Generally, for most situations, I would say probably agree. All encounters should be possible for a sufficiently talented solo player rather than requiring a group. Yes, I definitely would like that. The recent March combat updates have improved combat. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely, they have. Distinct roles should be important in group fights. I think that is good, but also makes it probably harder for them to be soloable. Like, I think Yaka roles are really cool, but in RuneScape, I think that system kind of doesn't work great, personally. RuneScape needs more interesting combat mechanics in low-level combat to make training more interesting. Eh. Training's already pretty fast, I think, so you can get to that level where there are mechanics rather quickly, like God Wars 2 has mechanics. All right. Yeah, I like that. We'd like to understand how you feel about PvP in RuneScape. Okay, I personally enjoy playing PvP. No. I would enjoy watching PvP content. No. I would like to see PvP updates. No. How would you rate your interest in new or updated team-based PvP content? I've never been less interested in anything in my life. Thank you. Who is your favorite NPC in RuneScape? Interesting question. Huh. I don't know. Let me think about that while I look at these other questions. How would you describe your overall enjoyment of quests in RuneScape? I find quests extremely enjoyable, personally. When a new quest released, how important is it for you to complete the quest as soon as it is released? As soon as it's released, not like I would like to, but I don't have to. Who is my favorite NPC character in RuneScape? Sliske is pretty cool. Guthix, obviously. Just trying to think of all the characters that I even know of. Might be Zeros. Zeros is pretty epic. Yeah, might have to go with Zeros. But like, there's so many characters, it's hard to remember them all, and there's so many cool ones too. But just to put something, I'm gonna put Zeros because he's like a cool, mysterious type thing. So I'll go with that. Okay. During quests, how often do you read the dialogue? For new quests, I always read the dialogue. But when I'm doing them for the 4th time on an Iron Man, I don't read it at all. When it comes to new quests, how appealing would you find the following? Quests that continue existing storylines, very appealing. New storylines, very appealing. Old storylines, I mean, all of them. I mean, or actually, I will put standalone quests a little lower because I think storylines are cooler, personally. Oh my lord. What in the world? Okay. What parts of RuneScape lore and story would you like to see explored more in the future? Mistalin, Asgarnia, Kandarin. Wow, do I even know what these things mean? I mean, yes, I think I do. I mean, not necessarily any of those areas specifically do I care about. The desert, I've never really liked. Fremennik, I think, is cool. Mauritania, I love. The wilderness, now that it's no longer PvP, I think would be great to have in quests. Dwarf quests, I've kind of always hated. Elf quests are cool. Penguin quests, I hate. Pirate quests, I don't like. The Tazar quests are eh. Monkey quests, eh. Incando dwarves, not necessarily. Signature heroes, I think no. There it is, guys. There it is. Elemental Workshop. If you take this survey and you don't click Elemental Workshop, we're no longer friends, and I don't want to speak with you. Thanks. First age, second age, third age, fourth age, early fifth age. I don't know. See, here comes my lack of lore knowledge coming to fruition. I will go with, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to click any of these because I don't actually know what these entail necessarily. The only thing I know about these is from Clue Scroll Armors. The Eastern lands are cool. I like the Ark in general. I think it's cool. Acheron, like where the mammoths are from. What is that? Where's Erebus? Is it on here? Erebus is so cool. I want Erebus, more of that. I don't know what these things are. Abina. Infernus is cool. Vampirium, definitely. Terragard, is that like elf related? I don't know what this is. What the hell's the previous revision? I need to do like a lore deep dive one day. Gillinar in the near or in the distant future. The Shadow Realm, yes. The Void, is that Erebus? Common folk of Gillinar. Okay, none of the rest. I'm just gonna put, okay, I'm gonna go to the wiki. Hold on. Erebus. Or what happens if I type in the Void? The Void. Okay, the Void is a different place. It is completely empty, I think. So I'm gonna put checkbox Erebus because that was one of the coolest recent quests I remember is the when you got to go into Erebus. I forget the name of the quest, but that was awesome. When it comes to new quests, what would you like to see more or less of the following elements when compared to existing quests? Dark and serious tones. I think the quest being more serious is preferable to me, as opposed to the silly, goofy quests that they have nowadays. In-depth characters, yes. Exciting new rewards, love those. Deep and immersive plots, yes. Revisiting areas, doesn't really matter. New areas, I like. Interesting puzzles, always. Challenging combat, I like. Longer quests, I think, are cool. Like the epic. Like the first time I did Wild Gothic Sleeps, I was blown away. Fun and quirky tones. I think that I know it's kind of like core heart and soul of RuneScape type thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm an old, crusty man now, and I'm a boomer just hating on it. How many new quests would you like to see added to the game per year? I am gonna 4 or 5. I'll go with 5. I think any more than like 7 is asking too much of the devs. Like I would have no problem having a ton of quests every year, but I'm trying to be reasonable with my expectations. And also I don't want to only see quests. I'd like to see other things. So like 4 is what I would expect. 5 is what I would like would be nice. If RuneScape had more quest updates each year, but consistently fewer of other kinds of game content updates, how would you feel? This is what I basically just said. It would kind of like, I don't want only quests. I would be a bit less excited if we had more quests, but consistently fewer other updates. Yeah. Would you like to see these elements introduced into RuneScape 3? I haven't looked at the questions yet, but I love these very black and white suggestions. Absolutely not. Doesn't matter to me. Yes, I'm open to this. Renaissance technology such as dwarves with muskets boarding a goblin galleon. I mean, I don't think anything would really matter to me. But let's see. Ooh, I love that one. This is some of the coolest stuff to me. I know it's maybe cliche, but still. Why are they so focused about dwarves boarding goblin thingies? Armies of golems. Advanced magical technology, armies of golems climbing stairs made of pure energy. That sounds cool. That also sounds cool. You know what? I'm going to hit them with the absolutely not for both of these. Low key. Because, I don't know, that doesn't really sound that great. But these other ones are all cool. There you go. How strongly do you disagree or agree with the following statement about combating quests? Quests that give combat XP among the rewards should have an option to reject the XP. Yes, why not? You know what I mean? For peers and whatever. Personal talent should be needed in addition to suitable combat stats and equipment to beat a quest's encounters. Yes. not doesn't have to be, but like, yeah, like come on, bro. Like make some hard quest bosses maybe. You should always be able to skip the combat encounter request. No. A hard combat encounter makes a quest more exciting. I feel highly rewarded when I defeat a combat encounter. A hard combat encounter, yes. And no, they are not too hard. There you go. I'm an elitist. Deal with it. I am in a clan, yes. What type of clan are you in? I would say it's pretty general, non-specific. People don't really PVM. I talk in the clan chat, not super often. I'd put that. Like, if people get drops and stuff, I say grats. If people grats me, I say whatever. Sometimes I'll mention stuff about an update. But I don't, like, I'm not doing stuff all the time. Like I like having the sense of community of like people gratzing you for drops and whatever, but it's not integral to me playing the game. I'll type what I just said. I don't really know what any changes they would make to clans, really. I don't have any ideas for that, so I'm going to leave this one blank. How much is your enjoyment of the game harmed by the following issues? Bots. Not at all, really. I don't know. Are there a lot of bots in the game? Maybe. I don't see them. I'm an Iron Man. I have no problem muting people if they spam the chat. Slow or unstable connections, I haven't really experienced recently, so I don't have issue with that nowadays. Slow gameplay because the graphics are too demanding, definitely not. Players cheating, no. And then this, I will put a little because I've had issues with client crashes in the past. Have you encountered any accessibility barriers or challenges while playing RuneScape? No. I don't know what you mean by accessibility. Damn, people are stupid, maybe. Thanks for taking the time to complete this survey. If you have any feedback about this survey, anything else about RuneScape, please let us know. Keep up the good work. Next. And you're done. All right, we did it. How long is this? Let me check my OBS. An hour and a half, my God. Well, if you stuck it all the way out to the end, I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this survey. I'm really looking forward to the future and can't wait to see what else they have. Now I need to stop talking before my voice is gone forever.